Welcome to Analytically Delicious, Insights into Food Safety by LVA. Join us as we explore the latest developments, trends, and challenges in ensuring the safety of our food supply through analytical techniques, uncovering the science behind what makes our food safe and delicious.
Hello everyone, this is David Steiner speaking and welcome to Analytically Delicious. In the past we have witnessed unsettling pesticide scandals like Fipronil contaminated eggs and political debates surrounding glyphosate. These incidents have understandably raised concerns about the safety of our food supply. But fear not, dear listeners, today's episode is dedicated to unraveling the complexities of pesticide analysis and regulation. Joining us is Dr. Helmut Rost, a seasoned expert with years of experience in pesticide analysis. Together, we will elucidate regulatory frameworks, explore cutting-edge analytical techniques, and perhaps even dispel some of the anxieties surrounding pesticide use. So grab your headphones and prepare to feast your mind on some analytically delicious food safety insights. Hello Helmut, it's great to have you here today.
Hello David, thank you very much for the invitation.
Helmut, can you tell us a little bit about your career?
I have held leading positions in food laboratories since 2003, including roles at Eurofins, Roma Labs and LVA. My best experience at this time was my time in China from 2008 and 2012, where I had the chance to set up a food laboratory there from the scratch. But the focus there was pesticide analysis.
What was the intention to build up such a laboratory in China?
At this time, the analysis of food was not so developed in China. In particular, Eurofins had no pesticide laboratory in China at all. So the intention was that Eurofins wanted to have a high sophisticated pesticide laboratory there, and that's why they have sent me as an expert to China to set up such a laboratory.
Because the know-how was rather limited in this area?
This know-how was definitely limited. In particular, Eurofins had no expert there who was able to analyze pesticides in China.
And what's your current position and on which projects are you currently working on?
My current position is Technical Director at LVA, and we have a lot of projects running at the moment. One really important project is to improve our pesticide analysis. We want to reduce a little bit the reporting limits.
Oh, that sounds very impressive. But Helmut, I have a burning question. Why do pesticides actually carry such a negative societal stigma? What's the reason behind that?
That's a very good question, and a good example for that is glyphosate. This herbicide became a topic of intense political discussion because of its use and potential health impacts. And glyphosate is classified as a probable carcinogen by the International Agency for Research on Cancer. This increased public concern and started a political debate. Furthermore, the controversies regarding regulatory decisions, such as the European Union's reauthorization of glyphosate, despite existing concerns, have become critical points in the political landscape.
I understand. And aside from glyphosate, are there any other examples of public concern regarding pesticides?
I think we have seen in newspapers in the last years the discussion about neonicotinoids. The neonicotinoids are insecticides and they have been linked to bee population decline and environmental damage. And that's why we have seen the call for increased regulation and bans in some regions.
Yeah, I fully agree that neonicotinoids are a prime example for that. The media has been all over it, as you already mentioned, raising public awareness and also pushing policymakers to take action.
Absolutely. And I want to mention another example, which is Fipronil. Fipronil is one pesticide that also raised public concern in the last few years. Fipronil gained attention when it was discovered in eggs and poultry in 2017. But Fipronil actually is forbidden as application in food of animal origin. In general, we see that all these incidents have highlighted the need for stricter monitoring and evaluation of pesticides to ensure public health.
So there's quite a broad range of negative effects associated with these compounds. What measures are actually being taken to ensure that our food remains free from pesticides and safe for consumption?
In Austria, the Food Safety Network operates within the framework of the European Union. This collaboration includes information exchange, harmonization of procedures, and joint recognition of testing results across all member states.
What do you mean with harmonization of procedures?
Harmonization of procedures means that a client who sends a sample to laboratory A expects that if he also would send the same sample to laboratory B, that he would get similar results for the test. And this is what we try to set up in our harmonization processes.
I understand. That sounds like a comprehensive approach, actually. Could you also elaborate on the role of LVA within this network?
Sure. LVA is really important in ensuring food safety in Austria. LVA is a part of the Codex Alimentarius Austriacus. We have delegates who provide expertise in the development and adjustment of existing legal regulations.
Codex Alimentarius Austriacus is a real tongue twister. Can you give us a little bit more details on that?
Yeah, this codex is a kind of, we can say, Austrian food code. It is a set of standards and guidelines regarding food safety, labeling and quality.
And what does it include?
It covers various aspects of food production, processing and distribution to ensure consumer protection.
And what other roles are covered by LVA?
LVA has the authority to issue marketability assessments for food products throughout the entire value chain. But mainly our focus lies within the analytics, because analytics provides the central data foundation for the assessment.
That's very impressive to hear about this rigorous process in place. And talking about analytics, I would like to dive a little bit deeper into this part. And I would be interested if there are any recent advancements in pesticide analysis that have significantly improved the detection methods.
I think we have a lot of improvements in the past. And I would say the main improvements you can find in chromatography and in the mass spectrometry. And for mass spectrometry, I want to mention the tandem mass spectrometry, for which this was really then a trigger to have a revolution for pesticide analysis.
A revolution in which way?
I would say the revolution now is that tandem mass spectrometry increased sensitivity, selectivity and efficiency, and we are now even able to trace very small amounts of pesticides in food.
Can you maybe also give us a real-life example on that?
We already had talked about glyphosate, and I think this is really a very good example again. And for me, one reason that glyphosate is of public concern, because in the past it was really difficult to analyze, but today every laboratory has it on its list to be analyzed.
How was it measured back then?
Yeah, in the past it was really complex, that the measurement, and it was done traditionally after a complex sample preparation by ion pair chromatography.
And how has that improved?
Today it's much easier. The analytical challenge is still here, but nevertheless, the tandem mass spectrometry here brought was the game changer in this respect. Yeah. Nowadays, glyphosate is derivatized to another molecule, and this molecule then can be easily measured by tandem mass spectrometry, really with very high sensitivity.
Yeah, Helmut, since we are both analytical chemists, I think the term derivatization is quite clear, but for the listeners out there who are not firm with this term, can you give us a more detailed view on that?
Yeah, sometimes it happens in analytical chemistry that an analyte is not directly measurable. And in such a case, you can derivatize an analyte. And this is what we have done with glyphosate. So we make it then measurable by tandem mass spectrometry. But in the meantime, we are one step further, because glyphosate now also is directly measurable by tandem mass spectrometry.
I see. Which is basically also due to the technical improvements you already mentioned.
Absolutely. So the new chromatography methods, they are also able then to chromatograph glyphosate, and the tandem mass spectrometry really can measure glyphosate at very high sensitivity.
I understand. Have there also been any notable challenges in implementing these advanced detection methods, especially for food laboratories?
Yeah, I would say that today food laboratories, that they have then to cover high investment costs.
What are the typical costs for a mass spectrometer?
So I would say it starts with around 200,000 euros, but it really depends which instrument you want to buy. And if it's a state-of-the-art or really a very sophisticated instrument, then it also can go up to 300,000 euros or even more.
And here we are only talking about the initial costs regarding the acquisition of the instrument, but I assume that also housing and running the system is also quite expensive.
Usually for such a complex instrument, you need a maintenance plan, or you need a contract with your supplier, and this is also expensive. And you also need operators who are able to run such instruments, and they need to be trained, and they are definitely specialists.
Helmut, we have now talked a little bit on the technical improvements. I would be interested now how these improvements are also considered within the area of method development, and also how the validation of such an approach takes place.
Yeah, in this respect, I would say we are coming back to the harmonization process. We have now a harmonized protocol for the validation, which is called Sante document. And the Sante document is published by the European Commission's Directorate for Health and Safety.
It's a very famous and important document in the area of pesticide analysis.
Yeah, I think everyone who is dealing with pesticides knows this Sante document. It's really originally was a guideline, but in the meantime, it's you have to follow this guideline in Austria if you want to obtain the ISO 17025 accreditation.
Accreditation, what do you mean with that?
Yeah, accreditation is also very important for food laboratories. So without accreditation, I would say that you have no chance on the food market anymore. Accreditation means that you have to prove your skills and your quality in the analysis of pesticides. And this accreditation usually is issued by the Austrian accreditation body.
And how do you actually achieve this accredited status?
For this accreditation, you have to undergo an audit at Accreditation Austria, in which you have to show your skills and also your validation. And this validation process is really a long-going term and needs a lot of planning, because in this validation, you have to test all your commodity analyte combinations for all the pesticides, which is really a lot of work. And we can say in our laboratory, on the one side, we are doing all our routine work all of the day. On the other side, we also have to do the validation that we always can prove our skills and capabilities.
Yeah, that's very impressive, and it indeed sounds like a very complex process. Aside the guidelines you mentioned and the Sante document, I would be also interested in how pesticides are actually regulated in Europe.
Initially, the pesticides were regulated nationally, but in the meantime, we have here a harmonization process again, and it's already around 20 years ago that this document is in force now, and it's...
What's the name of this document?
It's the European Commission Regulations 396 from 2005, and it harmonizes all the different analyte matrix combinations. And so that means it's really a very, very long list of maximum residue levels. So this is the maximum level of pesticides allowed in a matrix, and all these maximum residue levels have to be ruled in different matrices. So we can say it's thousands of numbers then you have to read or to take into account if you evaluate the pesticide testing result.
I understand. Helmut, let us assume that pesticides are found in organic food, for example. How are they evaluated then?
Yeah, for organic food, usually you are not allowed to apply the pesticides, and we have in Europe here again an harmonized regulation, which is number 848 from 2018. And as a general rule, we have in Europe a kind of threshold value of 0.01 milligram per kilogram, up to which pesticides residues are ignored. That means pesticides with a maximum of 0.01 milligram per kilogram are ignored in organic food.
Helmut, as we wrap up today's show, let's take a look into the future of pesticide analysis. What advancements do you foresee in the field?
Well, David, I think the future lies in automation and in digitalization. Laboratories dealing with high sample volumes, they will rely on robotic systems to streamline their processes, I would say.
Okay, that sounds very fascinating. So with automation on the rise, do you also anticipate any challenges in implementing these advancements?
Yes, sure. On one side, we have automation, which will greatly enhance efficiency. But on the other side, we know that we still need a skilled supervision. We will need experts to operate and assess data from sophisticated analytical devices. And do not forget the importance of human evaluators in navigating the complexity of pesticide data evaluation.
Absolutely. Human expertise remains invaluable. Now, in terms of technology, what detection methods do you think will dominate the future of pesticide analysis?
In my view, I think that tandem mass spectrometry will remain on the market and will keep its dominant factor on the market due to its manageable data volumes. However, we cannot exclude that possibly another technology will become stronger and can replace tandem mass spectrometry.
Do you have an example for that? What could that be?
Yes, I'm not so sure about that, but if there is a very quick system on the market which can give you a general evaluation of a sample, then this is something that could replace tandem mass spectrometry. And if this system would be much cheaper than tandem mass spectrometry, then I think it has a very good chance to be successful on the market.
I understand. Last question, Helmut. Do we actually need pesticides?
This is a very good and often raised question, and I think I want to give you a neutral answer. I think as long as we have no changes in our agricultural systems, we will rely on pesticide application to cover the national and global food demand.
Thank you very much, Helmut, for sharing your insights with us. It was a real pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you, David, for having me.
If you found today's conversation as enlightening as we did and want to stay informed about future episodes, remember to subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Apple, or YouTube. By subscribing, you'll never miss a bite of our delicious insights into food safety and analysis. And for those of you with burning questions or lingering curiosities related to our today's episode or any other food safety topic, don't hesitate to contact service at lva.at. Your questions will be addressed either directly in our next episode or by our team of experts on our website, www.lva.at. Thank you for tuning in, and until next time, stay safe and stay informed.